Hello and welcome back to the Gospel Teachings of RAK. This is Jacob, and today we're going to be talking about why the Jews didn't believe Jesus was the Christ. The summary is, the chief priests, elders, Pharisees, Sadducees, and many of the Jews did not believe Jesus was the Christ, because their hearts were hardened due to their jealousy. Jumping to scripture here, Matthew chapter 27 verses 15 through 20. Now at festival time, the procurator used to release to the crowd a prisoner, whomever they would. Now he had at the time a notorious prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they had gathered together, Pilate said, "Whom do you wish that I release to you, Barabbas or Jesus, who is called Christ?" For he knew that they had delivered him up out of envy. Now as he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent to him, saying, "Have nothing to do with that just man, for I have suffered many things in a dream today because of him." But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the crowds to ask for Barabbas and to destroy Jesus. Mark chapter 15, verses 8 through 11. And the crowd came up and began to ask that he do for them as he was wont. But Pilate addressed them, saying, "Do you wish that I release to you the king of the Jews?" For he knew that the chief priests had delivered him up out of envy. But the priests stirred up the crowd to have him release Barabbas for them instead. Mark 7, verses 20 through 22. And, he said, "The things that come out of a man are what defile a man. For from within, out of the heart of men, come jealousy." The book of Acts, chapter 5, verses 17 and 18. But the high priest rose up, and all those who were with him, that is, the party of the Sadducees, and being filled with jealousy, seized the apostles and put them in the public prison. The Gospel of John, chapter 11, verses 45 through 53. Many therefore of the Jews who had come to Mary, and had seen what he did, believed in him. But some of them went away to the Pharisees, and told them the things that Jesus had done. The chief priests and the Pharisees therefore gathered together a council and said, "What are we doing? For this man is working many signs. If we let him alone as he is, all will believe in him, and the Romans will come and take away both our place and our nation." But one of them, Cephas, being high priest that year, said to them, "You know nothing at all, nor do you reflect that it is expedient for us that one man die for the people, instead of the whole nation perishing." This, however, he said not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus was to die for the nation, and not only for the nation, but that he might gather into one the children of God, who were scattered abroad. So from that day forth, their plan was to put him to death. Jumping to John 12, verses 17 and 19, or 17 through 19. The crowd, therefore, which was with him when he called Lazarus from the tomb and raised him from the dead, bore witness to him. And the reason why the crowd also went to meet him was that they heard that he had worked this sign. The Pharisees, therefore, said among themselves, "Do you see that we avail nothing? Behold, the entire world has gone after him." Back to Matthew chapter 13, verses 10 through 16. And the disciples came up and said to him, "Why do you speak to them in parables?" And he answered and said, "To you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For to him who has shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him who does not have, even that which he has shall be taken away. This is why I speak to them in parables, because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, neither do they understand. In them is being fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, who says, 'Hearing you will hear, but not understand, and seeing you will see, but not perceive. For the heart of this people has been hardened, and with their ears they have been hard of hearing, and their eyes they have been closed, lest at any time they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their mind, and be converted, and I heal them.'" That's from Isaiah, or referencing Isaiah 6, 9, and 10. "But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear." John 10, verses 24 through 33. The Jews therefore gathered round him, and said to him, "How long do you keep us in suspense? If you are the Christ, tell us openly." Jesus answered them, I tell you, and you do not believe. The works that I do in the name of my Father, these bear witness concerning me. But you do not believe, because you are not of my sheep. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me, and I give them everlasting life. And they shall never perish, neither shall anyone snatch them out of my hand. What my Father has given me is greater than all, and no one is able to snatch anything out of the hand of my Father. And I and the Father are one. The Jews therefore took up stones to stone him. Jesus answered them, Many good works have I shown you from my Father. For which of these works do you stone me? The Jews answered him, Not for a good work do we stone you, but for blasphemy, and because you, being a man, make yourself God. But unfortunately, for the Jews, they were wrong in understanding that he truly was God sending himself in the flesh to save the Jews. But the Jews were jealous. They were jealous of him and what he was doing and creating by preaching the truth and what God wanted for his people. Unfortunately, the elders, the priests, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, many of them were jealous of what Jesus was doing, and I think they didn't even want to consider that he could be the true Messiah, because they wanted to have, their own churches filled like that, and wanted to make or work their own miracles so that their names could be great. But that's the problem in itself, is that when God sent his son to save us, he came back to teach us, and the Jews didn't want to see it, and they got jealous of it, and that's what ended up leading to the crucifixion of Jesus. And you can see even here, when Pilate offers up Barabbas, they turn down that offer and instead continue to crucify Jesus, or the decision on crucifying him, instead of the true criminal, which is, at that point, you can see that it was just all about envy. I hope you all think on this and pray on it. Have a blessed day, and I will speak with you soon.